You know, I'm sure a lot of people that watch YouTube right now, even if you've never ever made a YouTube video, could guess that it's not like, right now is not a good time, per se, to start a YouTube channel. If you plan on doing it for financial gain. And I think that the argument could solidly be made that that time has passed for good. That the opportunities afforded by this platform to people like, like Philip DeFranco, he's always the first one that comes to mind for me. To make a career and a life for yourself on YouTube, those days are gone. Nobody's gonna have an opportunity like that again. Now, that's not to say some people aren't gonna get lucky in the future. Maybe you will, but it's certainly not. The odds are not in your favor. Nevertheless, financial gain was never my intent on YouTube. I find this an entertaining diversion, and I've had various different reasons throughout the time that I have made content on this platform for why I've done it. So, it's with this in mind, as well as realizing the fact that the metadata for my existing YouTube channel is probably so shot that I could make the best content in the universe from here forward, and I would still not really have any growth. It's with this in mind that I'm gonna start a new YouTube channel, and I'm gonna start it off with this video, and I am going to put this video on both my YouTube channels, because as of right now, I don't think that I'm going to cease to use the old one. I think that they're going to be two different entities, and I'm going to make two different kinds of content on the two channels. So, let me get into what I want to talk about today. YouTube is a place where you have seen videos, I think it's considered bad form to specifically name people in a context like this, because they're not doing anything illegal or horribly immoral even. But you've seen these videos that are trying to bait you into, these guys who apparently all drive Ferraris, have 8 mansions, and make millions of dollars a year, are trying to tell you that they can show you how to do that. And all you have to do is subscribe to their YouTube channel, buy their merch, listen to all their audio books, fucking come to their events, etc., etc., etc. And they have these business opportunities for you. And you're gonna get that money if you do what they tell you. And you know who I'm talking about. I guarantee you at least one of these people has popped into your mind as I'm saying this. Here's the thing, and I'm gonna tell you straight up. That's fucking bullshit. It's just not a thing. Now, these programs, these Getrichquick programs, they've existed since long before YouTube was a thing, right? Like, they're not new. YouTube is a new platform for them, but, you could find them as VHS tapes in the past, as lectures that you could buy tickets to. This isn't a new phenomena, because the idea that you can take what you have right now and do less work than you're currently doing and make exponentially more money, well, that's an idea that really appeals to a lot of people. But it's just not true, okay? And I'm going to lay out plain and simple to you why it doesn't make any sense to begin with, all right? Firstly, if I had some sort of tremendous business opportunity, right? And it was something that other people could capitalize on, despite the fact that I was already capitalizing on it. You have essentially 3 waves of people getting in on any such business idea. All right. The first wave is high risk, high reward, right? Uh, yeah, you have the opportunity to be one of the first people on this very profitable trend. But if this is something that's not going to work out, you also have the highest opportunity to lose all your money. The second wave is the ideal wave to be in, and it is the smallest wave. And it's the people who capitalize on something like this at the perfect moment, when it's already been demonstrated to be profitable, but when the market is not so saturated that you can no longer make money in it. All right. So assuming that I was selling something like this, maybe if I had a really, really good, completely untapped market to offer you, that's going to be good for like the first 100 people who follow my plan. Everybody after that is going to fall into the third group, which is the people who are too damn late. And at this point, when you get into a business endeavor, a new money-making opportunity, the market is already too saturated, and in all likelihood, there's no chance of you being able to turn a profit. And that's where the vast majority of people who were to get in on such a scheme would fall. And that's why it's not viable. It's not feasible that somebody has a business opportunity that an infinite amount of people can cash in on. That being said, I think that I can lay out to you with a very high degree of success, a list of things, a to-do list, if you will, that can allow you to be successful at something. Now, that's the key thing is, I'm not going to tell you what that something is, because that something, in a sense, it depends on you. Because one of the most important things when it comes to prolonged success in any kind of field, in any endeavor, is that it has to be something where your talent and your passion meets. Okay? So, in other words, don't let anybody ever tell you that you don't need natural talent to succeed, that you don't need some sort of gift to succeed, because that's utter bullshit. Growing up, I loved baseball more than anything. When all the other kids would be home, doing something else, I would practice baseball all day, every day. I loved baseball, but I was a terrible baseball player, and I am not currently a professional baseball player, despite the fact that I had every bit of love for the sport, and I put every bit of work into it that I could. I had no natural gift at that. And yeah, I probably succeeded more so than I would have if I had no natural talent and put no effort into it. But I didn't succeed anywhere near to the degree that I would have if I had both natural talent and a drive to do something. And that's what you need to find. I would say that's absolutely the first step. And if you plan on becoming successful, if you want to motivate yourself to improve your life, that's kind of that's going to be, your key, your centerpiece, is to find out where your passion and your talent intersect. And that's where you're going to find the thing that you can become a millionaire doing. Or at least a very successful person who is certainly not going to be worrying about paying their bills or if they can afford to go on vacation this year. Now, the second thing that I would tell anybody is, probably more fundamental. In other words, it's something that you can probably do quicker. It might take you a while to figure out where it is that your, like I said, passion and talents intersect. But the the other thing, the more fundamental thing, I think, is goals. I've heard people 1,000 times say, it's, explain successful people as being goal oriented. Well, what does that mean? Because anybody who has a goal, I think, is going to orient towards it in some way or another. So I think that every single human being is goal oriented. I think the more appropriate term is that successful people are goal organized. They know specifically what their goals are, and they know how to break those goals up, and they know how to work towards them. One thing that has done wonders for me in my lifetime, and it's unfortunately something that I always stop as soon as I reach like a comfortable level of success. It's something that I always do when I'm at my lowest. And then once I've allowed it to raise me up to a certain point, I always kind of give up on it. And that's my mistake. That's some place where I have failed in the past repetitively. But, is creating lists of goals. And yeah, you want to have an ultimate goal. And that kind of goes hand in hand with, like I said, finding where your talents and your passions intersect, because it's something that might not happen immediately. You might not know right now where you want to end up at the end of the day. You might just say to yourself, I want to be wealthier. I want to be more successful. I want to have nice things. But you might not know the details until you start actually venturing down that road. So let's put that aside for a second, okay? And what other kinds of goals are there other than your ultimate goal? Well, I would break those into two categories. Peripheral goals and bite-sized goals. Bite-sized goals are important because they're the ones that allow you to demonstrate your own success and your own progress to yourself, right? They're small things. For instance, let's just say that your ultimate goal is that you want to get into shape, or that's one of your peripheral goals. Well, that is something that takes time. So instead of saying, all right, I'm going to get into shape, and that's a goal you might not hit even with hard work for months or even a year, and eventually you might become discouraged. Instead, say to yourself, I'm going to walk half a mile today. That's a goal. I'm going to do 30 push-ups today. That's a goal. I'm going to do 10 sit-ups today. That's a goal. And then the next day, or maybe 2 days later, so you can give your body a little bit of rest or whatever works for you, you might want to up those goals a little bit, and then up them again and up them again. And every time you're doing this, you're achieving your own goals. You're giving yourself that feeling of success, which is going to it's going to drive you to want more. It's very much like a drug. I wouldn't be surprised to find or to learn that some similar endorphin releases are involved. And the second thing I had mentioned was peripheral goals. Now, this is something that I would say is not directly related to your ultimate goal, but something that you also want that, maybe you can kind of pick up along the way. Let me give you an example. All right, say that your ultimate goal is to be wealthy. Say that you have a better definition of what that is than just generally be wealthy. Maybe your peripheral goals on the way might be things like, I want to have this car. I want to own my own home. I want to have a family. I want to find a woman or man or whatever you're into that I really like. And these things might be your peripheral goals, and they might be little things that you can work on achieving in the meantime, while you're still making the overall push towards your ultimate goal. And that, it again, kind of like those little daily bite-sized goals, these are things that give you that feeling of success that is going to motivate you to keep pushing and pushing towards your ultimate goals. Now, I could go on for probably 3 or 4 days nonstop with this video, and I plan to, but not all in one piece. So, if anybody's interested in knowing more about what I have to say, some more specific advice, some more specific strategies, and things that you can learn that will help you generally become more successful in life, regardless of what you decide to venture into, you know, subscribe to this channel. I will upload them here. Uh, as of right now, I don't have a definitive, this is how often I'm going to upload. But, I'll try and put up at least a couple videos a week to begin with, and we'll see how it goes from there. Also, I do have a page on minds.com that I will link in the description, and whichever of my 2 YouTube channels you view this on, I will link the other in the description. You guys have a great day. I'll see you in the next video, and peace.